Well, aloha dragons, and welcome to this instructional video for Lesson 1 Part 3, Opportunity Costs. The main idea behind this economics lesson is producers and consumers make sacrifices because there are a limited number of resources. With that in mind, by the end of watching this video, you'll be able to understand why sacrifice is an important element of economic choice, identify the assumptions involved in creating a production possibilities curve, and determine why future production possibilities might differ from current production possibilities. Now that the outcomes for this lesson have been shared with you, let's get started. As you have learned, scarcity requires producers and consumers to make choices. Similarly, a society must answer the three basic economic questions of what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. What are the results of these economic decisions? Choosing among alternative uses for available resources forces people to make choices. If a resource is used to produce or consume one good, that same resource cannot be used to produce or consume something else. One good is sacrificed for another. In economic terms, this sacrifice is called a trade-off. The cost of this trade-off, the value of the next best alternative given up to obtain that item, is called the opportunity cost. People face trade-offs and opportunity costs every day. Consider the following example. Michelle has two events she would like to attend in the same week, a concert and an ice hockey game. Tickets for the concert and the hockey game cost the same amount. Unfortunately, Michelle has only enough money to purchase one ticket. She must make a trade-off because she cannot afford to buy both tickets. If she spends money on a ticket to the concert, the alternative choice, the ticket to the hockey game, is the opportunity cost of buying the concert ticket. That example is a simple two-item choice. Most choices, however, involve many more trade-offs. When resources are used to build a factory, the trade-off is not between the factory and one other use of the resources. All of the workers, equipment, and financial input used to construct the factory could be used to build many combinations of homes, offices, and shopping centers. These factors of production might also be used in fields other than construction. For example, investors might decide to deposit their money in savings accounts, or the land might be used as a park. Although many trade-offs may be possible within a set of choices, only one of these, the next best choice, is considered the opportunity cost. For example, suppose that you are deciding how to spend your Saturday afternoon. You can choose between a trip to the beach, a visit to a carnival, and a hike in a nearby park. After some thought, you decide that you are not interested in going on a hike, and that although the carnival would be fun, you would prefer to go to the beach. Both the carnival and the hike are considered trade-offs. However, only your second best choice, the carnival, is considered an opportunity cost of going to the beach. Trade-offs and opportunity costs can be illustrated using a production possibilities curve. A production possibilities curve shows all of the possible combinations of two goods or services that can be produced within a stated time period given two important assumptions. First, it is assumed that the amount of available resources and technology will not change during the period being studied. Second, it is assumed that all of the natural, human, and capital resources are being used in the most efficient manner possible. The assumptions are important because they determine which production combinations will fall on the curve and which will not. All of the combinations on the curve meet these assumptions. Combinations that lie inside or below the curve, on the other hand, represent an inefficient use of existing resources. Combinations that lie outside or above the curve represent production impossibilities, given existing technology. Each production combination is measured in terms of opportunity costs. That is, more of one good can be produced only by making less of the other good. Keep in mind that a production possibilities curve is a model, or a simplified version of reality based on specific assumptions. Models are useful tools that help people understand how the real world works. Because the production possibilities curve is based on assumptions relating to current conditions, it is a helpful model. This figure shows the possible production options that would be available to the U.S. automotive industry if it concentrated its current resources on the production of only two types of cars: economy cars and luxury cars. Like all production possibilities curves, this curve is based on the assumption that the amount of resources, including raw materials, labor, and capital goods, will not change, and that those resources will be used efficiently. The curve that connects points A through E shows the production combinations that meet the stated assumptions. At point A, all resources are devoted to the production of luxury cars. Point E represents the other extreme. All resources are devoted to the production of economy cars. In these two extreme cases, points A and E, the opportunity cost of producing one class of cars is the entire production capacity of the other class of cars. Consumers are interested in purchasing a variety of cars, however, so automobile companies probably would not choose to limit production to either luxury or economy cars. Instead, automobile companies would most likely produce some combination of the two classes of cars. These combinations are represented by points B, C, and D on the curve. The opportunity cost of producing a certain number of one class of cars would be the number of cars of the other class that could not be produced. For example, the production of 5 million economy cars would limit the production of luxury cars to 2.5 million. Two additional points, F and G, are included in the graph. Point F, which lies outside the curve, is a production impossibility, given the current levels of technology and other resources. No matter how the automotive industry mixes the existing factors of production, it cannot produce at this high a level. Point G, which lies inside the curve, represents an inefficient use of resources. If the existing factors of production were used more efficiently, the industry should be able to produce at a level represented by one of the points on the production possibilities curve instead of at the level of point G. In the real world, technology and the factors of production do not remain constant. When improvements in technology occur or new resources become available, the entire production possibilities curve changes. A new curve is formed to the right of the old curve. Economists say that the curve has shifted to the right. On the other hand, if resources become unavailable or technology regresses, the curve may shift to the left. The production possibilities curve in this figure shows a shift to the right. The new curve, which connects points Y and Z, represents the expanded production that results from advances in technology or in the introduction of new resources. The new curve, like the old one, makes the standard assumptions of fixed resources and efficiency. If the assumptions change, if new technology or resources become available, the curve again shifts to the right. The curve may also shift to the left if resources become unavailable. So that's the way it is with Lesson 1, Part 3, Opportunity Costs. At this point, you should know that trade-offs and opportunity costs are important to consider when making economic choices, and companies use production possibilities curves to help make decisions. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to have the entire catalog of economics videos available at your fingertips. Click the subscribe button and then click the follow bell to receive notifications as to when the channel is updated. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in class, Dragons.